Alright guys, Kimbo White here. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been involved in the MMA YouTube Predictors Race to 200. I started back on September 10th of last year with the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. And it's been a close race since then. Really, even the guy that's in last is not that far back with a couple of good events. He could still be in the running before we hit 200. We probably got a good 10 events left before one of us is going to hit 200. And right now, I'm gonna post the standings up here in an annotation so everybody can see them. And what this video is about is mainly to give a shout out to MMA Analyst, who is youtube.com/BETMMA, and that's also his website that he does his betting picks on. So give a big shout out to him for winning the halfway prize in the prediction race. And what this is about was making this race a little bit more interesting. When we were getting around 80 some picks, I was just felt like it was becoming a little bit routine, and we had a long way to go to get to 200. And I noticed that, basically 4 of us have been neck and neck the whole time. Manny and I are still tied. We're still basically tied for third at 119 wins. Ken's at 125, and I believe MMA Analyst is at 122 now. But anyways, around 80 some picks. I thought I'd make it interesting, and I told all the guys that were involved that whoever hit 100 first, that I would personally send a halfway prize to that person. And ended up being quite interesting because Surfer Ken at Surfer Ken TV3, you guys go check him out. He does great predictions and has some other YouTube channels where he's done some really cool edits, like MMA fails and things of that nature, that are really pretty funny, pretty cool to go watch. But anyways, get back on topic here. He and Karsten, which is the MMA Analyst, were tied at 93, and I can't remember exactly which event it was. One of them probably remembers, but they were tied at 93, and we basically knew one of them were going to hit 100 that event. So what we did was, it's just in case they tied, we had actually set up a sudden death type thing where if they both got the first 7 picks right and hit 100 at the same time, or however they did it, if it was in the first 9 picks that they both hit 100 at the same time, that we would kind of go sudden death on it. But if one guy went 7 in his first 7 picks on that card, 7-0, and the other guy would have went 2-7 and lost the first 2 or whatever, if one guy, whoever hit first, was going to win the t-shirt or the prize, whatever it is. And for the end of the race, the winner is going to win 4 MMA t-shirts, and that is basically the goal that everyone's striving for, to win these 4 MMA t-shirts. It was going to be 5, but we had a guy drop out. And so basically Karsten smoked Ken and the rest of us in that one event. He was like 9-3 or something like that, and Ken went 6-4, and Ken didn't even hit 100 that event. And now he's been doing great. Ken had a 10-0, and so did I, and he just had a 10-1 last event. So he's jumped back into first, and he's making a strong case of the fact that he just might win this race. But nobody's counted out yet. Not even Brent, who's in last. I think he's got 111 now. He went 10-1 on the last card. All it takes is for the rest of us to, if Ken or Karsten pull a 6-4, 7-3 out of their ass, and Brent hits another couple 10-1s, he could still be enough. So there's no reason for anybody to quit, even if they're going to lose, man. They give it an honest effort, and really, for making predictions, I don't think anybody's predictions have been bad at all through this whole race. So, man, these guys are all good MMA predictors, and I'm going to post a link to all their channels in my description. But I have got Carson's halfway prize finally, and I'm going to mail it to him. And when he gets it, he's going to open it and show you guys all what it is. I'm not going to show it on camera today because I want it to be a surprise. So when he gets it, he'll open it and show you what it is, and hopefully it is something that he likes. So that's that. And one other thing before I end this video, I just want to mention the fact that Nick Diaz did fail a drug screen positive for marijuana today. Keith Kaiser had announced that at least one person from 143 had failed the drug screen, and it was about a couple of hours time it went by, and before anybody could really speculate too much on the fact that it was Diaz, it came out and officially announced that it was Diaz. He was the only one on the card that failed drug screen, and it was for marijuana. So, well, give me your thoughts on that, guys. I hate on the guy because he smoked weed, obviously, but in his situation and the way the guy's been handling himself lately, the piss poor crying shit when he lost, and man, I tell you what, man, one day I got the utmost respect for the guy, and the next day I'm like, what the fuck is this guy thinking, doing? I don't know. I'll always have all the respect in the world for Nick Diaz as a fighter, and as somebody who, as far as we all know, leads an exemplary lifestyle. Stays in the best shape and conditioning a person could be in, and is very focused on what he's doing in his career, and is one of the best in the world at it. But my God, to me, this just proves his ignorance towards life. He has no common sense. It's he almost seems like a guy that's been kept in the gym and caged up his whole life, and it's just crazy how Cesar Gracie has to talk and say everything for the guy. He has no bank account. He has no ID. He had to get an ID just to get a passport when he was going to fight GSP. He has to get an ID. He has to get a special ID just to, be sanctioned to fight in some of these fights and things, because he doesn't even carry one. That's just weird, man. As much money as that guy's got, I understand he's got an agent that handles everything because he's not good with numbers. That's one thing. That's money. That's a whole other ballgame. It's like the dude doesn't even know how to handle his own life at all. And I just think that why would a guy in the top of his career, with even losing to Conor, that was a close fight, they're going to give him top fights. He's still a top contender for the title. And he fought like he didn't give a shit. And I got the sense, I've watched Nick Diaz from his very first fight ever in the UFC. I've always been a huge Nick Diaz fan. And he didn't fight anything Saturday night like I've ever seen Nick Diaz fight ever in his career. He did not bring the fight at all like he normally does. He fought like he didn't give a shit. He acted like he didn't give a shit. And now that he tested positive for pot, I personally think he really doesn't give a shit. I don't think he really even wants to fuck with the MMA anymore because of those things. Is why, that's why I think he doesn't want to fuck with the MMA anymore. But to give a real good reason why he wouldn't want to stay in MMA anymore, I don't think there is one. I don't think any of his reasons are good. But I think that is the case. I think it is because he doesn't want to train so hard, and then take a stupid decision loss, or maybe not get the payday that he quite wants, or this and that, things he's complained about before, not get the exact fight that he wants. You know, most of these guys will fight anybody, anytime. Diaz wants to fight one guy, and you know, now I don't think he wants to fight anybody to get back to GSP. And you know, if people start saying that he failed a drug screen and all that just to dodge GSP, he deserved that talk after the shit that he said about George. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens here. But people are saying now that they're hoping maybe Ellenberger and Condit will come together before the GSP fight. We'll see what happens there. He's got to beat Sanchez first, so can't count out Diego, which is, I guess, the dream now. And I thought he used to be the nightmare. Now he's the dream. Whatever, dude. All right, man. You guys have a good night. It's been Last Word with Kimbo White. I'm getting ready to get my Ellenberger Sanchez predictions up here probably tonight. See you.